All right, let's break it down to individual stocks now. We have a very strong opening coming up, but a lot of stocks in focus as well. First up, let's look at the two-wheeler auto sales, which did very well across the board. I'm going with green for Hero MotoCorp, for Bajaj Auto, for TVS Motor. The only one that is in the red is Eicher Motors because of the weakness in sales. But let me just take you through the numbers very quickly. Good numbers from Hero MotoCorp coming in. Sales up 22% year-on-year at 4.33 lakh units. If you look at TVS Motor as well, sales went up about 23% year-on-year. Bajaj Auto yesterday reported 24% sales growth. So all in all, the sector has done between 23 and 25% growth. Only Royal Enfield sales were under pressure in the premium end of the market. So Royal Enfield sales were down 2% year-on-year, coming in at 76,000 units. So I'm going with red for Eicher Motors, but the rest are in the green. Red also for Ashok Leyland this morning because the commercial vehicle sales were quite weak. If you look at the numbers, January sales, total sales were down 7%. The pressure has come into the MHCV truck segment. So MHCV trucks are down 15%. Total MHCV sales are down by about 8%. And the stock is also priced a part of that in perhaps. If you look at the trajectory in the last 1 month, the stock is down about 5%. It's underperformed the auto segment as well. So I'm going with red on that stock.
Okay, all right. Got that on autos. Let's hop across to Mangalam. Mangalam, tell us about Bata as well as Indian hotels.
Well, if you want to know anything about what's happening in the Indian consumer sector, just look at both these numbers together. Indian Hotels, premium player, and it's reported the best quarter in the history of the company. Highest ever revenue, EBITDA, margins, and net profit as well. 16.5% jump in the revenue, and mind you, this is not a small base. 22.5% jump in the EBITDA, margins expand, and strong internals. Occupancy is nearing 77%, and average room rent is close to around 17% higher. Around 18,111. They have 1,800 crores of cash on their books as well. Come to the other side of the spectrum, Bata, which is seen as a value player out there in a seasonally strong quarter. Nothing has happened. Revenues absolutely flat. The EBITDA has fallen 11.5% and the net profits fallen 30%. The companies increased their other expenses and they've said that, they've faced persistent market headwinds accentuated in discretionary spending. There as well, the premium part of the portfolio has done a little better and they are spending a little more to, perhaps enthuse some sort of demand that's still not coming by. So red for Bata and green for Indian Hotels.
All right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Mphasis is the next one we're focusing on. Rima's got details on this one. Rima, hi, morning.
Hi, morning. So revenue growth for Mphasis has come in lower than street expectations at 1% versus estimates of 2 to 3%. In fact, the top line has been boosted by an acquisition. So if you strip that out, the Silver Line acquisition, the performance on the top line would have been even worse. That said, the management commentary says we're seeing signs of stability despite the seasonal softness in Q3. Margin performance has come in line with street expectations at 14.9%, but there is a bit of softness on the top line, which could upset the stock today. Back to you.
All right, well, Sonal is with us on to talk about Castrol and Bayer Crop. Sonal, over to you.
Good morning, Sonia. Well, both of them good set of numbers. For Bayer Crop Sciences, it was a good beat. Revenues were down 8%, but operationally the company did well. EBITDA up 50%. Their margins increased by 520 basis points to 13.5%. The profit was down 30%, but that's optical because in the base year they had an exceptional income from the sale of one of their businesses. The company says that they saw sizable efficiencies which helped margin improvement. And it is coming at a time when the other players are talking about weakness. So a green on Bayer Crop. For Castrol as well, it was a strong set. For their quarter ending calendar year 2023, their revenues were up 7.5%, EBITDA up 31%, margins expanded 500 basis points, leading to a net profit growth of 25%. So expect a green tick on Castrol as well.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Sonal. Well, I'm looking at NMDC and the stock was strong yesterday as well, and it's actually looking quite good. And overnight, we had this update coming in with regard to their January numbers. The production number is up close to around 8%, but the sales volume number is up close to around 18%, which is very, very good. Remember, there's a couple of tailwinds for them as well, besides this operational performance for January. One is that, we're entering that seasonally strongest quarter where steel production will ramp up big time. So they require more iron ore. So that's point number one. The second factor is global iron ore prices have been firm as well, and domestic pricing has been firm. And they've already taken 6 straight price increases in the last few months. So all in all, the stock should be in an uptrend, and in fact, it'll open well in the green today.
All right. Well, yesterday we heard from the Paytm management. We have Madhur Deora and the founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma answering questions from analysts. They made a presentation and then took questions. What's the street making of it, and what was said? Abhishek is here with that. Abhishek.
Well, the key highlights of the con call of Paytm was that Vijay Shekhar Sharma did mention that now onwards they will work only with other banks and not Paytm Payments Bank. There will be a requirement to have some operational change for which the work has already started. However, it is a speed bump is what he's mentioned. So they believe that with partnership with the other banks, they'll be able to see through over the next few days or in terms of quarters as well. They cannot foresee what they can and cannot see as of now because RBI has not sent any further details on the action. Jeffries, however, believes, the other way around. They have an underperformance rating. Target price has been put at 500 per share. They say that there is no clarity on genesis of regulatory restrictions being provided by the management. Management has guided for 20% to 30% EBITDA hit in terms of this regulatory action from RBI. The recent events will drag companies' growth and elongate the profitability timeline that the management had set out earlier. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Here's a quick recap of our top stocks. We have stocks with positive news flow. There's Hero, Crop, Castrol India and Indian Hotels. While stocks with negative news flow, there's Eicher Motors, Ashok Leyland, Mphasis, NMDC, Bata India, as well as Paytm. But let's also find out what's happening in the world of commodities. Manisha Gupta joins in for a roundup of all the action there. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, I'll start with the crude oil prices where we have seen a big profit taking come in between 2 to 3% of a decline overnight, and we are trading below $80 a barrel for the Brent prices now. Well, there are talks of ceasefire between Hamas and Gaza, and that has led to some premium coming off the prices. Also, the OPEC and allies meeting yesterday continued to maintain the current production cuts. Markets believe that they might actually go some more aggressive in and increase output cuts, but that hasn't happened. On the other side, EIA also came out with a report suggesting that the global demand can improve going forward, and they have revised an upside target to 2 million barrels per day instead of 1.24. But all of these markets clearly are going to look at the interest rate trajectory going forward, the Chinese data and the stimulus measures coming in from there as well. And crude wasn't the only one. There was a sharp decline in base metals overnight. So between copper, aluminum and zinc, we've seen 1 to 2.5% of a cut come in for these as well.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. We'll come back to you for more, but we'll take a break right now. Siddharth Khemka of Motilal Financial Services will be with us with some fundamental stock check. And we'll also have Kamal Singhal, Managing Director and CEO at Arvind Smart Spaces. They talk about their third quarter performance. Stay tuned.